Michael Jackson, it simply doesn't matter whether or not you're black or not, or whether you're white or not. It simply doesn't matter. You're listening to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. We are here absolutely live. I am doing this show, well, not on my own. Matt Morgan's just over there, pointing at his ears, baffled and confused. What's that? Because we can't hear anything in our earphones. Hello, hello. We can't, can we?
No.
What's wrong with this place, Matt?
I don't know. Let's make some changes.
Make a few changes. You're supposed to be in charge of them switches. I can't help thinking that this lack of audio down our ear holes is something to do with switches. What buttons is it? Have a press of a button. Don't be shy. Not that one!
No.
How come even G's craning over touching the buttons? Mr. G is here. He's the poet laureate of our show.
What G did sort of work.
Did it? Did it? I can't hear nothing.
No, I think...
Still can't hear anything. Right, yeah, so anyway, we're live. And if you wanted further testimony to our liveness, listen to this shambolic beginning. What a show it was last week, Matt.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
There we were. Isle of Wight we were. Yes, brilliant stuff. I still can't hear me. Can you hear me?
Are yours plugged in?
Maybe
you
not.
do
Come round here then, you there, and turn this up a bit. I can't hear. Oh, yeah, that's me. Yeah. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? It's comforting to hear your own voice in your head.
When it's not there, you feel lonely.
Miss it. Miss the sound of my own voice in my own head.
I'll tell you what I've missed.
Go on.
Your rapping. And that...
Yeah, well, the rapping in black or white is the perfect... It's not about races, it's places, faces. It's where your blood comes from, it's where your space is. I see in the bright get duller. I ain't gonna spend my life being a colour!
Would you do that?
What, that song?
Rap.
I know you love my rapping, Matt, but I simply ain't in a rapping mood. Although, could I be any more immersed in black culture now that I'm pretty good chums with Chris Rock? Pretty tight. Me and old Roxy, I call him. Oh, Roxy, I'll say. Yeah, well, of course, as you know, I've got the same Hollywood agent as Chris Rock. We've become very dear pals over the past few months, Chrissy, Rocky and I.
I saw you there having a stilted and awkward conversation with him.
Oh, it may have looked stilted and awkward from the outside, Matt, but let me tell you, on the inside, that was a blossoming new friendship. What's difficult is, of course, he did what I believe is known as the brother hug, where you link hands. Tim Westwood is a famous exponent of that hug in my life. Of course, G does it, but I'm very relaxed doing it with the G, as we're dear friends. Yeah, it's like Chris Rock done that thing, sort of where you pull in and you sort of clasp hands,
bump shoulders.
Then you bump shoulders. He bumped my shoulders 3 times. I had one of them during our quick chat. 3 of them. Geez,
That's good. That means you're his friend.
Well, I took that to be an indication of closeness. The thing is, on one of them, his shoulder went right in my solar plexus, and I was talking.
No, he didn't. That's all. Chris Rock's taller than you.
Chris, I go, Chris, it's enough. You've done well in that show. Like that, his shoulder whanged me. Oh, Heimlich manoeuvre, and a coughed up bit of fish finger. But yeah,
I thought it was the bumlick manoeuvre. Watching you, hovering round him.
Hey, whoa, why are you saying that for, man? Hey, things are cool. You're going down the wrong road, Matt. That is the wrong road.
Not that again.
Wrong road. Also, anyway, John Rogers, my mate John Rogers, just said he was watching a culture show on one of the channels on the TV set, and he said that Chris Rock was on it, and they goes, oh, Chris Rock, is there anyone you'd like to work with in this country? Well, just Russell, man. Just Russell. Later, we transpired, it turned out that it was Russell Grant, and he's just got an unusual interest in skies.
Did he think that you were so famous that you could just say Russell?
Correctly, in my view. He thought I was, such fame.
Would you ever change your name publicly to Russell? Would your second book be just Russell?
Russell. Yeah, a boaster's tale. A series of lies by me. No, I like the old Brand bit. I think it's a good bit to a name. So anyway, this is going to be a bloody good show. It's live, so you can phone us if you want to make a phone call that will be ignored on 0500 288 291, or you can text us 88291. We tend not to ignore them. russell.brand@bbc.co.uk. We won't ignore those. Later on in the show, we will be talking to comedian Alan Carr, who we spoke to him in the old Six Music days. I remember him being on the floor of a train, going, oh, I'm on the floor of a train, oh, bloody hell, it was like that, wasn't he?
Reading the Sunday papers, wasn't he?
He was sat hunched. So get up, mate. Sit on a chair. Claim your birthright.
You wouldn't
Enthrone yourself.
Go on a train, would you?
Well, not now, no, bloody hell, no. I'd go in a taxi or something, I suppose, unless it was a special train, a steam train, or an express or something like that. I'd go on one of them, I reckon.
Or a little train through Monkey World.
I'd go on a train through Monkey World, yeah, I thought it was a monkey train, like that, driven by a monkey in a steam engine, sort of Steve Emin driver's hat, like over the engine, like that bloke, him, but we're puffing a pipe, little monkey. I'd do that, definitely. So Alan Carr's on. If you've got any questions for him, ask us them, we'll tell him them questions. And this show is, in my mind at least, very much a Bagpuss special with Matt and I, and G, you're a fan of Bagpuss, would you say? We all love Bagpuss on this show, not in an ironic, let's watch kids' TV way, but in an actual, it's really weirdly entertaining, absorbing, and as if there's a hidden agenda to it. Well, we'll find out once for all when we talk to Oliver Postgate, creator of Bagpuss and voice of Bagpuss, and Professor Yaffle.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's going to be back again. In fact, I think Nick, our producer, unless he's in some sort of guilt-ridden frenzy, has put some, like, samples of Professor Yaffle so we can have a listen to him. Can you see him written anywhere on your special board? He's coming here.
Oh, wow.
Go on then, press some things, Matt, mate. This is
on autoplay,
if you're a young person, Bagpuss was a stuffed cat. He was in a second-hand shop. He had different adventures, you idiot. He had different adventures each week when Emily, the girl who owned the shop, bought in objects. Bagpuss, Professor Yaffle, the mice, etc., would mull over these objects and discuss what they might be, restore them to order, then put them in the shop window. That was the format pretty much every week.
Good feeling.
Well, and also Vital Info, you know, move people along. It's that kind of professionalism that led Chris Rock to call me that bloke from England. So, it's that kind of proximity.
Hang on, I think someone's here. It's Professor Yaffle.
Hold on.
He's getting very silly. Too silly. I will not have anything more to do with you until you are properly serious.
He's obsessed with things being serious, isn't he? Because the reason we started thinking about Bagpuss again was because when Richard Dickie Dawkins, the evolutionary psychologist, came on our show, he, like Matt goes, he's like Professor Yaffle. He just tries to just condemns and undermines things and is cynical. That religion you believe in is nothing but an old myth filled out by people afraid of death. And like, and it is a bit like Professor Yaffle, isn't it? Especially,
I mean, he's right in a lot of ways, but,
He's right in a lot of ways, mate. Yeah, you can't condemn that, but we'll find out the truth behind Bagpuss when we talk to Oliver Postgate later on the show. What else are we going to do? We'll never tire of that. So I've got that mouse in my house, haven't I, that goes, we will fix...
We will fix it up bit by bit. We don't mind at all. We will find it all. Find it all. We will find it all. Find each bit and make it fit.
Oh, lovely little mice. That's just the sound of joy and innocence, that there.
lovely.
A joy and innocence that is besmirched when you, Matt Morgan, take that teddy bear that's been made, an effigy of me, voodoo teddy bear made by that lovely woman that's in my house. You take one of those toy Bagpuss mice, a female one, and position it with the teddy bear as if there's been some sort of sex crime committed, don't you?
Do you do
like
it
to do
and
that.
blame it on me?
No, I don't think
I did it
do.
once.
Well, how come when I came out of my house earlier today, that mouse was lying on the floor with its skirt up, looking all confused, just laying there?
No, because it fell there and its skirt went up.
Why'd you lie? Why'd you
What
tell
do you think I'm involved with that mouse for?
Because I just keep finding it in compromised
I
positions.
put it there to make you laugh.
It did make
It's
me
just
laugh.
confused you.
Why is that there? Is it an effigy? Is it a symbol of the future? Let's finally get Noel Gallagher on the show. We haven't spoken to him for ages, have we? We'll get him on the show. We're going to have some lovely music, most likely, won't we? Probably listen to some records or something like that. Yeah, listen to this. This is really lovely. This is from someone claiming to be called Russell Smith. Dear Russell, Matt and G, I've been listening to all your shows for many, many years. My grandmother came out with a brilliant quote the other day, and he's written it in script form for us to appreciate, has the young Russell Smith. And here it is.
Bring it to life.
The nan says, "Have you see?" She goes, the nan goes, "Seen a picture of Peter Sutcliffe in the paper?" This lad goes, "Oh yeah." And she goes, "Yeah, he was such a handsome man. Look at him now. He looks really worn out." She thought Peter thought he's let himself go. Perhaps it's the pressure of being in Broadmoor.
Worn out.
For the rest of the year, worn out.
Oh, God.
He's really lost his
Wish
joie
I'd
de
done all
vivre.
that.
Yeah. Where's he gone? He had a spark. He had a real razzmatazz when he was arrested, didn't he? He had a certain something. It's Peter Sutcliffe. He's got a twinkle in his eye. It's Peter Sutcliffe. You'll never see him cry. It's Peter Sutcliffe in his dancing shoes. Watch that toolbox. Peter Sutcliffe in his dancing shoes. So that's the kind of musical number you can get from old Russ. Oh yeah, I've got to play Nickelback bloody song
I
for the
know,
cab
I saw that in
driver.
there. What are you doing?
Well, the cab driver on it done. He was called Abdul. I took a shine to him. I goes to him, "Yeah, mate, take your trousers and pants down. We'll do this journey without trousers and pants down." "I'm not doing that." I goes, "You bloody hell,
Did you
mate."
say that to him? You're getting worse.
I say it to people sometimes, see how they react.
My driver was an idiot.
Well, what was that with him? What
He
did
won't
he
be
do?
listening to this.
Of course he won't. Why? What did he do?
Well, he looked like he was on a booster seat and he was 12.
Right, well, like they had a little bucket to lift him up like
Just
a
a
kid.
little plastic moulded chair, and it looked like he'd, I don't know, stolen his dad's car
Right.
and started being a cab driver. I didn't know where he was going.
My first taxi!
Yeah,
It was like
exactly.
that, was it?
Yeah, and I was stuck in it.
You poor sod. You look a bit beleaguered and troubled by the
Bit
old
worn out.
experience. I'd like to say happy diamond anniversary to your nan and granddad. It's their diamond anniversary tomorrow, isn't it, Matt?
Yes, it is.
They won't be listening to this because they think I'm disgusting, don't they? I
Yes.
got on with them when I met them.
They don't.
Oh,
I think
well,
they've listened to it
I think
before.
I'm dirty, I thought.
well, you
Well, your
are.
nan said something about me being dirty.
She
Mind
said
you, I
it.
did have my hand up her tights. Now, come on! Hold on, not 60th anniversary. Did you get anything off the Queen for that, 60th
They do. They got a
anniversary?
card from the Queen.
Bloody hell.
Yep.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, her handwriting's all shaky now since she met you.
Of course it is, poor
Well,
cow.
left you. You were never having a
We
relationship.
were never
with her.
officially together. It was very much just a physical thing, to tell you the truth, Matt. It was never going to go anywhere. By God, she was hot, that woman. Well, I'd follow that at the end of the earth, I would. Elizabeth Regina, you've made a monkey out of me. Right, okay, so yeah, lots of good things on the show. We're playing that Nickelback thing for Abdul, even though he refused to bare his genitals at my behest. We will be
Are
talking
we
to Noel
actually going to
Gallagher.
play that?
Yeah, play a bit of it.
Do you know how it goes?
How's it go? Go on.
It's one of those songs.
Hey, Marty, we're going back to the future. Does it sound like we stuck out of Back to the Future?
No.
What does it sound like then?
I can't remember, but it's it's like that voice, American rock voice. Rock, yeah,
Rock,
a rock
yeah.
star.
Well, I like it. Sort of like you're chewing a cigar.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Let them, fine. I don't mind Nickelback. Let them get on with it.
Do
Few
you
things.
want that now then?
I don't know. I think I wouldn't mind hearing Sweet and Tender Hooligan, but well, let's play it now. So like Abdul, no,
So it's out of the way.
Yeah, get it out of the way. Let's get it over
Okay.
and done with. Right. Also, yeah, we want to talk to people about things. I'd like some things that people's nans have said, like that Sutcliffe
Yeah.
thing. It's quite nice, isn't it, when a nan says something like that? Oh, I don't know about that, darling. Oh no, like when my nan
I
started.
once witnessed a nan pushing a kid. I've told you this before.
Yeah, I
in,
like this.
in a pushchair,
Yeah.
and the kid was going, "But why, Nanny? Why, Nanny?" And she went, "Because Nanny's pipes are all wrong."
Nanny's pipes ain't working.
How
Nanny can't
disturbing is
do.
that?
It's weird, isn't it? What does she mean by
What was the
that?
question? But why?
Why, Nanny?
Maybe she
Why-
just says
Why
that.
was there blood in the toilet?
Oh, Russell.
No! I'm so sorry!
Disgusting.
I don't know. I was just trying to answer a question. The mind is a problem-solving machine. If you present the mind with a problem, it will attempt to resolve the riddle. Stop that! You are being too silly. Make him say that thing where we're saying you're not being serious enough.
This is getting very silly.
That's what I
Too
like.
silly. I will not have anything more to do with you until you are properly serious.
Properly serious?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Properly
serious. I'm ready to be properly serious now. I'm very sorry. I've wasted everybody's time. Right, so we play that Nickelback thing. Then we'll be celebrating Bagpuss. We've got Alan Carr coming on. Oliver Postgate. Be a bit more respectful to him. Apparently some teacher from my old school's called up and all.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll find it. It's an
What's
e-letter
that about?
somewhere.
Missing books or something?
Missing books, whittling in the sink. There was an incident trying to keep going to school even though I'd left by some 2.5 decades. There's a lot of embarrassment, a lot of rumour mongering. Go on, should we listen to Nickelback then?
Yeah, here we go.
Why do you think you'd call yourself Nickelback? does it mean?
Nickelback. Dunno.
Nickelback! What
Let's-
do you think it
let's
means?
find out
Something
what
to
it
do with
means.
guns.
He wants his nickel back.
He wants his Nickelback.
It's quite a petty issue to name your band after.
Look, I'd really like that back. If you are listening, I only borrowed it, yeah? Nickelback. That was Nickelback with their record Rockstar
It's a
with some...
ridiculous voice, isn't it?
Please take a pick of
wanna be a real doctor.
Can I have that $10 as well? Yeah, it seems he's a finicky pop star, old Nickelback. And there was, of course, additional help from Professor Yaffle
yeah.
in celebration of it being Bagpuss Week on our programme. There's a quick text message here from Sophie, claims to be in St Leonard's. My grandma said of Davy Blunkett, I don't trust that man, he's shifty, he never looks at camera. From Sophie there.
dear.
Sophie, your nan is racist against the blind. It's quite clear. Though my nan was just racist against other races. Well, you know, a saying of mixed-raced kids. Well, you know, they're neither one thing or the other, are they, dear?
God.
But you can't help it. That's their generation. Do you know what I mean? She don't know, does she? Poor cow. She's dead now anyway, you know. But I tried to convince her not to be, but she weren't up for it. Do you know what I mean? You can't help that. White working class people, they're daft, aren't they? A lot of them, some of them, not all of them. I'm not really racist against them, bleeding. No. Right, okay, I believe we have got on the phone creator of Bagpuss, not Professor Yaffle. That's not real. Well, how exactly do you come to life? It's Oliver Postgate. Are you there, Oliver?
Yes.
Wow.
This whole thing is getting quite out of hand. Will you kindly explain what you're trying to do?
I like it. I'm excited. He lives.
What I do not live, I'm made of wood. I sit on a mantelpiece the whole time.
Why are you so cynical about everything that Emily brings into the shop for?
Myself, I'm just interested in facts. I'm not interested in cynicism or anything else. I think I'll stop being Professor Yaffle because it hurts my false teeth.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much for doing that, Mr. Postgate. That is very kind of you.
You can't call me Mr. Postgate.
What should I call you then, Oliver?
I don't exist. I think I must be Oliver, yes.
OK, Oliver, thank you very much for coming on our show, and thank you for the entertainment you provide us with through the vehicle of Bagpuss. Also, though, you did other kids' shows, didn't you, at Small Films?
Indeed, I did, yes. Bagpuss was actually the last of all. My alter ego, really, is Nog Bad the Bad. Fear not, I shall return.
Wow.
That was long before you were born.
It was. So that to me just sounded like a man deteriorating into madness, but like, which I'm sure isn't happening, sir. With Bagpuss, this is the thing that interests us lot here on our radio show most, is it that it seemed that, what I've said is it seems like there was an ideology beyond just trying to fill airtime. It seemed like there was something quite magical and artistic about it. So I want to know what was going on.
Well, nothing was going on. The fact was we were just trying to feed the television machine, and the virtue of our films is doesn't lie in what they are, it's what they aren't.
What do you mean by that? That's really mystical.
That they're not made by formula. They're not made by an enormous expense. And they were made just by Peter Firmin and myself and various other people.
What did he do? He made the puppets, didn't he, Peter Firmin?
Peter Firmin made the puppets. I made the films and wrote them and sorted it out. But it was all done in a cowshed in Blean in the 1950s and 60s and 70s.
Wow.
And nobody was watching us. We had no sociologists. We had no educationists. We had nobody blowing down our necks. And
that should never happen.
We did what was fun.
So did you have... What did you have, like a sort of Reefian values to educate and elevate and inform?
No.
Or what was it then? Just trying to have a laugh?
No, fun. Yes, what we liked. We're both fairly infantile, and it was a matter of providing enjoyment and having a decent. The point is, we were so bad at animation that we had to have a very good story.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people would have noticed that the things were falling about.
Yeah, well, I found it sort of quite spellbinding, and we've been watching it again as adults lately, and it's still really sort of beautiful and it sort of has pathos.
It's something which, thank goodness, I knew nothing about when I was making them. I went, about 8 years ago, to a festival, and there was this girl there who was a filmmaker, and she was watching. They'd been watching Bagpuss and throwing Bagpuss about like a rugby football, and she was in floods of tears. And I said, "What's this tears? What's this about? It's all for fun." She said, "No. When I was young, we were what were called a dysfunctional family, and the only safe place in the world for me then was Emily's shop.
Yeah,
I knew if I was in Emily's shop with my friends, I was in the real world and I was safe."
Although, Oliver, Emily would not be allowed to run a shop as a 9-year-old, and why did she call it Bagpuss and Co? And why does she?
It was Bagpuss and Co, and she didn't run it. She brought things to it.
You said it says at the beginning it's Emily's shop.
Pardon?
At the beginning it says Emily was not a normal girl or something. She had a shop. It says something.
Emily
like
had
that.
a shop. Yes. And she was. It wasn't her own shop because it had Bagpuss and Co written across the top of it. If you keep a sharp eye open, you can see it.
I do. I'm fully well aware of the legend Bagpuss and Co. above the window. So then Bagpuss wasn't like all the other objects in the shop once found. He must have been there to put his name on the licensing agreement.
Yes. He was. We were all under contract to Bagpuss. Yes. He was very generous, though.
Oliver, does the entire story take place in Emily's mind? Like, each week? Is it just in... or is it in Bagpuss's mind?
The actual stories were driven by the objects. What I had to do was to scout around and find something, an elephant straw elephant without any ears.
Yeah.
And I would put it down in front of Peter and Joan and anybody who was about, and we would try and think up what its story was, how it got like that.
Oh, right, like the Hamish or the ship in the bottle, the old shoe, big favourite house.
Actually, in some ways, it was the easiest thing I ever had to write.
You were the real Emily.
Sorry?
You were the real-life Emily. in a way, finding objects.
Oh, yes, in a sense, yes. Somebody had to, you know. I had to think up the ideas. But I didn't create the characters. That was Peter.
Excuse me, Oliver. Someone here, we've got an email from Elise in Newcastle. She said that Professor Yaffle was based on Bertrand Russell. Is that not true?
That's right. She was a mixture of my uncle G.D.H. Cole, who was a professor at Oxford, and Bertrand Russell, whom I knew in CND days many years ago. And both had this tendency to speak rather exactly. And of course it was essential that the mice should send him up rotten, which we also did with my Uncle Douglas.
I like those. The mice are like relentlessly optimistic about everything. That's what I really like.
Well, yes, they're a bit... they're a bit bolshy occasionally, but...
they are, when they strike, don't they? You're a bit of left-wing gentleman.
Mice strike. Yeah.
Are you a bit a left-wing type of fellow, Mr. Postgate?
Well, I think they were Social Democrats, the mice.
They were Social Democrats. Are you using children's television as a vehicle to peddle communist ideals?
Not in the slightest, no. We had absolutely no agenda.
What about now, Oliver? This would be a good time to talk about, isn't it? That what's this about? You want to buy up Afghan poppies? What's this thing?
Oh yeah. That's on my website. Yes,
yeah.
Yes. It's a long way from making children's films. Yes,
It certainly is becoming a heroin dealer.
It's quite simple, really. The coalition forces have been burning the poppy crops.
Mm.
And when they've finished that in Afghanistan, the farmers have got nothing to live on.
Yeah.
If they were, instead of burning them, they were to pay for the poppy crops and buy them, they could set up
morphine distribution
factories in Afghanistan. There is the Sendless Society, which is actually trying to do this, and they could make the medications from them. And there would be no reason for the farmers to go back to the Taliban again.
Okay. So we have medical opiates instead of street heroin.
Yes. In fact, it would be a good way to break the hold of the Taliban on the drug trade, the illegal drug trade.
I imagine then that the reason
90% of the heroin there is here comes
It's really funny to hear that in a sort of Professor Yaffle voice. Perhaps you should get together, do a special edition of Bagpuss where you talk about the heroin trade in Afghanistan.
We will smoke it.
We will inject it.
No, at all.
This heroin is awful. It is of low quality.
I can't make head or tail of what you're saying.
Matt was doing like singing a mouse song about heroin, and then I started doing Professor Yaffle talking about heroin.
Yeah, well, it's what it is to be spontaneous. I had to think a very long time about anything like that.
Oh, you're a lovely gentleman.
At the rate that you work, which is fantastic and marvellous and incredible, but it's so fast. I had a month or 6 weeks to make each of these films, and so I had plenty of time to work out exactly what I was going to do. And I had to move the characters
stop animation.
25 frames to the second.
Yeah, it must have been a bloody test of your endurance. Excuse me, this sounds rather brash and probably adverse to your principles, but I want to buy them objects. Like, where are they? Professor Yaffle and the mice and Bagpuss, do they still exist somewhere?
They're about, yes.
Who's got them?
Professor Yaffle and the mice. Professor Yaffle, there's a... Oh dear, I can't remember the name of the firm. They are on the market.
Are they? I want them.
But not as a toy. Professor Yaffle isn't exactly cuddly, you see.
No, but I put them in a glass box.
I'm looking at on my mantelpiece, but I cannot remember the name of the firm that makes them. I'm terribly sorry.
Can we find out? Oh, don't worry.
Where's the originals?
Where are the originals? We want the originals.
They're very beautifully made models.
Are the originals anywhere?
Made, and they've got all of our characters, and they're very nice. But
you talking about the originals?
Ones, like the mice whom you were playing just now, are in the toy shops.
Okay, but what about the originals? I want the original ones. Have you got them?
No, Peter's got them, and they live in Canterbury Museum.
Ah, Oh, they're in a museum.
They rebuilt the shop in Canterbury Museum so that they're all sitting in the shop and Bagpuss is asleep.
Wow. All right, so it's a
Let's
bit
go
sort
there.
of yobbish of us to try and go down there waving wads of bills. Right, give us those bloody mice, etc. It'd be loutish. Oliver, thank you so much for coming on our show, and thank you for providing us with such beautiful and wonderfully crafted entertainment during our childhood, instead of the indoctrination and rubbish that fills television screens these days. A lot of it made by me.
Yes. Indoctrination. I do nothing but indoctrination. You know that. You're welcome.
Thank you. You're a
Very
lovely
nice
gentleman. Thank you very much for your time, Oliver.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh,
Wasn't he lovely?
lovely.
What about when he answered the phone as Professor Yaffle?
I know.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
What about when you offered
What?
to buy the originals with your cigar out?
Like JR.
Yeah.
You're a nothing but an unfit mother and a
There's the
dog.
originals. I'll take the originals.
Give me the goddamn originals, Postgate, or I'll
Give me
bust you up.
Bearcat. I'll take Bearcat.
Hey, if I don't get my hands on Bagcat, someone's getting their nuts kicked in real bad.
I want that gang of rats to polish stuff.
Hey, how's them rats gonna cope with some cheese and a bit of a mousetrap? Also, I'm gonna buy up all that smack, too. Get me hands on some Afghan
Good
brown.
that he's still involved in stuff. He said he was CND in the past.
Yeah.
Probably still is, and now, you know.
He's a rabble-rouser, isn't he? He's Bagpuss was... Oh, let's watch it again. I think we'll find it's laden with Marxist metaphors and symbology.
Good.
Good, best thing for it. Get some children with some principles. Russell, I heard Bagpuss was a mirror of Stalinist Russia. Ask Postgate, will ya? Says Johnny the Gravedigger. Johnny, you wasted our time with your ridiculous inquiries. Hi, Russell, you're right. Bagpuss is quite amusing. We should bring back Bagpuss, says people. Hello, Russell and Matt. I enjoyed you being subversive on our usually inane local radio station last Saturday. My 8-year-old daughter has been telling everyone she met. Wonder what she was telling everyone, this 8-year-old.
Remember if she met you and that got cut off?
Hmm?
Did you meet an 8-year-old girl there?
Don't remember meeting any 8-year-olds, really, to tell you the truth. They're pretty distinct by their dimensions, aren't they? An 8-year-old, you'll know them when you see them, all little and everything, aren't they? Right, dear Russell, Matt, Angie, says Sarah, I thought I'd email you after listening to the radio show and hearing Russell talking about Matt's farmyard experience where he showed innocent, alive baby chicks the dead remains of the other baby chicks. In psychology this week, my tutor said how people who exhibited cruel behaviour towards animals in their childhood are much more likely to have psychotic tendencies in later life. Thought I'd better warn you that you could be at risk. Lots of love to you from Sarah and everyone at Russell's fan site forum who have been emailing every week but haven't had a mention. They get mentioned all the time at the fan site forum. Hello there, fan site forum. I hope you're okay. So, Matthew, it turns out that after all, you are a delicious psychopath, as I'd always assumed, and that's why.
So are you then?
Why would I ever do?
Kicking your dog down the stairs?
Oh, well, I hardly think that's as bad as showing the spectacle of death to a little baby cuddly Easter chicken.
Mine was educational.
That's true.
What was yours?
Mine was stand at the top of the stairs where Topsy was not allowed. Topsy, come upstairs, Topsy, come upstairs. Topsy slinks upstairs. Oh dear, Topsy, you know perfectly well you're not allowed upstairs. Kick Topsy downstairs. Go to bottom of stairs. Topsy, what happened, mate? Someone kicked you down the stairs. Do you want a glass of water?
You put that in your book, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually.
How can you get pet as sexiest vegetarian after that?
Because I've come through hell. That's why, because the Lord likes to redeem a scruff bag, or whatever it's called, a scoundrel, I believe, rather than you little square showing death to little chicks. Come, let's listen to Sweet and Tender Hooligan by the Smiths, dedicated to you, because you was a little sweet and tender hooligan as a boy, showing all that death to each other. Well, and then what we got to do? Oh, yeah, there's loads of things to talk about. Yeah, put Smiths on first.
Well, I think it's a silly song. It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't even make sense. It's obsessed with things making sense. That was, of course, the Smiths' Sweet and Tender Hooligan. Morrissey is performing at the Roundhouse in Camden Town all next week. I'm going. Williams is going. Noel Gallagher might come with when I'm going. Do you want to come, Matthew?
Yeah, go on then.
Don't sound churlish then. G, you want to come? See? Lovely little nod from G.
Was that a nod?
Well, it looked like a nod. Either that or he went... I can never truly tell. Hey boys, my nan said. Hey boys, my nan said. Hey boys, my nan said. Hey boys, my nan says so many funny things. Tit milk. My nan says so many funny things. It's difficult to pick. But the other day, when playing this game called Articulate, we played that at Christmas. Went mad, didn't it? We all got a bit competitive.
No one else did apart from you.
What, I got competitive?
Words! This is my thing!
Words, I know about language, yeah, okay, rivers of language.
Poor mother was on your side. Mother, for goodness sake!
Oh, Christ, can't you this? It's a seagull! It's a bird of the sea! An aquatic ornithological creature! What's wrong with you, woman? I didn't think I was competitive. Was I too competitive?
A little bit.
What about you yobbing about playing volleyball? It's disgusting, you and Nick Glynn,
Volleyball?
our agent. You don't even remember playing because you're so bloody drunk.
That was in the swimming pool. I thought you meant whilst we were playing Articulate.
No, mate, which you weren't focused, though.
Articulate, surely.
Articulate. I know, even the title's misleading, preposterous. Anyway, when this Lauren character, when her nan was playing it, we describe stuff and the other person guesses what it is. It's a game, yeah, we go like, like a seagull, and then you'd have to describe it without using the word seagull or the word sea or the word goal. She goes, her description was an Asian country. We guessed for a while and it turned out to be Africa, says Lauren. What? They're all nain, all lovely and ignorant. This is from James. He says, a couple of things my nan used to say when I took her for a ride in my new car. Oh, you're doing ever so well. Look, I've even got my own seat. And every time I saw her, oh, you've shot up. Are you caught in? As if the explanation for the increase in height was a result of increased sexual activity. Keep up the show, says James. What's that thing my nan used to go? Oh, shame innit. Just used to look at me, cock her head. Shame innit. What? I'm all right. No,
we played a game with my nan once where it was called Who's in the Bag, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd pull out a thing and it says who's in the bag on one side.
What would it be? What's in the bag?
Like Oliver Reed. So you'd go, oh, he was a drunk actor, right?
Played Bill Sykes.
She took one out.
Blue
and
eyes.
went, right, who's in the bag? Which was the name of the game, which was printed on the back of all the tokens. Really missed the point.
Who is in the bag?
Now another one. Don't worry about that one. Who's in the bag?
Who's in the bag? What about when your granddad played, what was that one, when your granddad was playing one?
Oh, yeah, what's that one?
Balderdash, where you have to make a fake explanation for a word. So you might get the word popper snatch, and you'd have to go, oh, it's a type of drug used in the gay community, but by both genders, right? And then, you have to make up a definition for a made-up, or for an obscure word, and then there's a true one, and people's made-up one. But what did your granddad do?
He said Dartford in every answer.
Oh, this is a word popularised in Dartford. So unless the makers of the game were really favouring Dartford in their explanations, they would know. Oh, bless him, he's a lovely granddad. Your nan bullies him. Hey, Russ, Matt and G, says me in Ireland. Last week my nan was complaining of headaches, so she wanted to try alternative methods to stop them. She was looking for therapeutic ways, but instead of saying therapeutic, she kept on saying therapeutic. I didn't want to tell her because it was too funny, especially when she rang up alternative medicine practitioners looking for therapeutic treatment. I want some of those therapeutic treatments. That's lovely. Mimi, Ireland. That's why I gave her that accent. And what was that thing? What about that bloke we know, Cyril? He's a mate of me and Matt's. He's like a homeless tramp. Looks like Father Christmas, Uncle Albert style tramp. Dead skinny. Wears like a leather waistcoat, like silky handkerchief. He's well funny. And he goes like, oh, well, I was locked up in an asylum for years. And then he's always on about this bloke called John Eggessy. You remember, well, John Eggessy, he came up to me, he pulled my pyjamas one side and he stabbed me in my genitals with his locker key. He's always saying genitals. Oh, then I'll look down the toilet and he tried to grab my genitals.
But he always bends stories round to mention
genitals. It's like he's trying to get you to go, do you know that it's genitals, not genitals, and you're messing with us? Why?
We've never said that to him.
I know, because it's nice, isn't it, that he said, oh, yeah, well, so he grabbed me for my genitals. And then what about out of nowhere when he suddenly announced he was going to the Philippines and having it off with people and go, they are over age, aren't they, these girls in the Philippines? I don't know if they are. He said in a really blasé way. And then,
he can't have been, because there's no way he's got a passport.
How can he go to the Philippines? He can't have a passport. He ain't even got a house. He lives in a tree. So if you live in a tree, you can't get to a bloody Philippines, can you? From a tree. If your starting point is a tree, how are you getting the Philippines?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Unless it's a faraway tree or some other Enid Blyton created tree. Right, and what about this other time? I was in Belsize Park near where I live with him, right? And this girl walked past, right, with her mum, like a young adolescent girl. He goes, oh, she's a bit of a looker. I goes, oh, yeah, no. He goes, she's beautiful. I goes, oh, yeah, she will be, when she's ready. Like, he goes, I think she might be ready now. Oh, well, old Cyril, he's a paedophile.
What about when he said to you?
He's lovely, though.
Are you painfully thin?
Yeah, are you painfully thin? Like Oh, yes, I am painfully
It
thin.
hurts. My bones hurt my skin.
So bloody thin, I'm sucked in all nice and thin. You painfully thin. And always trying to find a wife that don't smoke. He's always going, whenever he meets any of my friends, if they're girls, he goes, are you a smoker? Are you? Like that. He's really actively pursuing a wife.
Not a woman who would accept a husband who lives in a tree.
Yeah, that's got to be... The main criteria is a smoker or non-smoker. OK, welcome to your new home. Where is it? Is it somewhere behind this tree? Guess again. Look within the tree. The answer lies within the tree. Yeah, he lives
There
in
you
a
go.
tree.
Hang a school uniform on that branch.
Pop it up on there. What time are you getting up in the morning? Here, don't go near them bloody fags or you're out, girl. They better not be your Lambert and Butler in there in that pencil case. Ridiculous.
Oh.
Mind you, we've probably... that it was all fictional. Should we say that case, in case we're libeling him or something? You never know, do you? Mind you...
I bet he's got good legal representation.
I'd say so. I imagine a team of legal eagles will descend on us, Robert Redford, Tom Cruise out the firm. They'll all be there,
There's
I
a little
imagine.
bush near his tree, actually, where some of the big wigs hang out.
So I think I see Rumpole the Bailey weeing in the lake the other day. Rumpole. All right, Rumpole.
What was that? That was always on telly,
It
wasn't it?
was rubbish. I couldn't be bothered with it. It's like, it's just the theme music suggested, prepare to be bored.
Oh, God. What about the most depressing theme music?
What, Johnny Briggs?
No, Coronation Street. How's that go? Oh, God.
Chill out. We'll see what else he's on.
I've never watched that programme. I just hear that music. Sounds like a trumpet player drowning.
Yeah,
His
he
own
can't be
tears.
bothered. He knows there's no point playing it. He'll drunk on whiskey, being sick down a trumpet. All bubbles and vomit coming out the end of the trumpet. Yeah. My nan seems keen to find any excuse to talk about her boobs, says Elle. She always mentions that she has to roll them up into her bra because gravity has been unkind. I'm listening to your show from Houston, Texas. I wanted to say that your show completes my Saturday. I also wanted to offer my services towards the good of the revolution. I'd be more than happy to represent you here in Houston. I'm at your service. Well, if you just, kill a congressman. Not really. Only mucking about. Get your nan to use her knockers to smother one. You all right, Matt?
Yes.
Funny little face you just pulled. You okay? We've got Noel Gallagher coming up on the show. Guess what?
Have we, though? You say that?
dunno,
Can you deliver on that?
I don't know. He's not a reliable man, is he? He could ring out. He could be sodding about with his family or something. He does that.
why
Watches
not?
Match of the Day, doesn't he? You lose him sometimes. It's difficult to get hold of him.
Your two teams play the other day.
Yeah, we did, and we lost 1-0. Now, here we go. Perhaps you're looking for a gift for a friend or a lover or someone you have recently betrayed. Why not get this exquisite porcelain collector's plate, lavishly decorated with precious 22-carat gold? Compo from the BBC's Last of the Summer Wine. Other porcelain plates are available. I have to say that because I noticed that in the corner it's a BBC product, so you could get another plate from somewhere else for
This is
100
shameless.
Well,
It's worse than the exercise bike.
oh yeah, good old exercise bike, my X-Cross exercise bike, what I go on for 20 minutes each night. Keeps me fit.
Oh dear.
Good old Lyndon, the
I heard
provider of
you
me
snapped your
X-Cross.
ankle and laid there for an hour, cursing that firm.
I had to chew my leg out of it like a fox in a trap. Isn't the bloody thing's lethal? I was trapped in here over an hour.
Oh, they'll come round and get it now.
Look at you, mister, get me an Xbox.
What?
Can I
An
just say?
Xbox 360, you say?
No one give Matt an Xbox. You don't deserve it.
Don't
give
send
him,
one in, it'd be stupid.
Give him Xma if you're going to give him something. It's what he deserves.
Or PlayStation
Little
3.
git. Right, yeah.
balance.
What were you saying?
Or a PlayStation 3.
Or anything. Don't give him it
Just
anyway,
enough.
because this is the BBC, licence, pass money, all that. Right.
Get on with your
okay,
plate.
so let's get on with this plate. Compo. Listen to this, it's quite good. We'll never forget Compo, one of our all-time favourite TV characters. He entertained us for nearly 3 decades, famously unsuccessful in his lifelong pursuit of Nora Batty. He never gave up hope of winning her part of our heart. Master craftsmen have meticulously reproduced every detail of this delightful montage of portraits onto a fine porcelain collector plate edged with a gleaming band of genuine 22-carat gold. A must for fans of Last of the Summer Wine. This collector plate is authorised by the BBC. Get another plate if you want. It can be yours for $29.95. If you're not completely satisfied, simply return your plate within 30 days and owe nothing. Act now to reserve your plate. Demand for Compo will be high. That we know. That's a given. We know people are clamouring for bits of old
They
took.
shouldn't have to say that, because
Yeah.
they should have made the right amount, the numbers.
They've obviously done no market research. They don't know how many to make. What about that one you said? What was you saying about porcelain dolls of Diana?
Yeah, of Diana, the little sort of statue
like
of her.
a figurine.
And he went, buy them now, because on August the 16th, the moulds will be smashed. And then there was a little bit of, it was an advert on the telly, like a hammer smashing the mould.
Does she have to suffer again because of you? You're worse than the paparazzi. What's your name? Henri Paul, smashing up this statuette of Diana. Damn you to hell. You maniacs. You blew it up. You blew it up. So if you want to get a Kung Po thing, get one.
Why
if you don't,
buy
get something
one
else. I don't bloody
in an
want
act of
one.
hedonism and just eat off it?
That would be quite funny to have a big dinner party. Right, got my compo plates out now. Have your nosh off of compo.
No one could forget compo if they bought this tasteless plate and stuck it to their wall.
Why would you want to commemorate compo? Why do you want to remember it? If you want to remember something, just remember it in your brain. There's no point buying a plate of something. Just remember it in your brain. The plate don't make no bloody difference, does it?
You say that, but...
I suppose all iconography and religion is based around the idea that, you need a physical representation of spiritual or inner objectives. I suppose, Matt, one could argue
I
that.
just glaze over when you talk like that.
Yeah, we'll take a good look at these guys, because it's the last you'll see of these.
He's showing his boobs
I am
again.
showing my boobs. It's like Midnight Express. They're pressed against the glass.
Well, those pictures of you that I noticed the other day when we were live from your house.
Yeah.
I looked at them today.
What pictures of me?
You doing a photo shoot with some flowers, looking all wistful.
Yeah, sometimes I feel wistful.
What
So
are they
what?
used for?
People like to see me wistful, mate. You
Holding
know.
a lily and looking
A lot of
ridiculous.
guys out there, a lot of young girls, a lot of guys like to see me looking all wistful. Just maybe imagine me singing, when I'm 64, you poor bastard.
Why? But seriously, why did you? What is that for?
Because I like. Well, I've probably
What,
just
did you
some
pay
photo
a
shoot.
photographer?
I didn't pay him.
Probably just some photo shoot. Yeah, I do so many. Yeah.
I do a lot of shoots, guy. People are keen to record my every move in the
but
ocean.
that's stupid because they must have said, hold that flower, now pull a face of regret.
Hey,
Wistful regret.
that was a look of reverie and wonderment that I was doing there.
I could see in the little funnels
do you
in your
mean?
eyebrows.
Well, that when we were doing Kerouac and they do things like get me to when you do it, when you have to look out the window, you're like such a twitchy little self-conscious nit.
Yeah, because
me,
afterwards
I
they
brilliantly
go,
stare
we're
off.
just going to shoot you here. Look like you're listening to a conversation over there in the corner, and there's not a conversation there. So
Acting! Act!
phoniness.
What about me?
lies.
JD Salinger. What I do is I look out the window, I go, Russ, you look all wistful. You take a look at me out there, just staring off,
No, 'cause
thinking.
you can see what you're thinking. This is going to look great. My fan club are going to love this. Look how wistful I'm being.
I'm so bloody wistful.
You can see in that flower photo.
I'll
you can see
give you a
put
fistful.
this photo up in me office. That'll be nice.
Yeah, I've looked at me. Yeah, sometimes, girls, I feel pretty wistful. Have bunches of
I
that.
actually made myself cry a real tear here.
Yeah, some say the world's too beautiful for one such as me. I don't know what you think, but take a look at how bloody wistful I was feeling that day. If you want to see whist, look no further. A lot of fellas, they don't
Full
know
of
how to
it.
do whist. Whist!
I'd believe it if someone took a photo of you and you didn't realise it was happening. They went, oh, Russell, the other day I took a
Yeah.
photo of you and you were sat down in that park holding
Oh,
a
no,
lily.
you're joking,
Oh,
'cause
no, you didn't, because I was one
feeling
of my
so
private
wistful.
moments.
Oh, man, you
no, let's
captured
have a look.
that.
Oh, no, look at me.
Oh, no. I was thinking about Norma Jean that day.
No, but
Goodbye,
Russ,
Norma
it's really
Jean.
nice.
The one never knew you that well. Norma Jean. So what if I'm wistful? What's
You're
wrong with
not
that?
wistful, that's the point.
I am. I'm wistful. All right, look at me now. How wistful I am. When I'm 60.
Should just be a picture of you sitting in a park texting.
Wait, why?
Because that's what you're always doing.
I ain't
Apart from
always
sitting in a
texting.
park.
I'm busy with my files. I've got a lot on. Guess who's coming here later? Paul McKenna.
Is he?
Paul McKenna. Yeah, he's coming in here, promote something. You know what he's like, using his Dr. Mesmer mind-bending techniques. Just turns up here, don't even tell the producer of the show, just tells me, Russell, I'll be coming down to the show. Knowing I can't object 'cause he's planted eggs, little mind bombs inside my brain.
Do you still see him?
I ain't seen him for a while 'cause he's in Los Angeles. Nobody could handle us, so I can't see him so much, can I? But, I like Paul McKenna. I think he's
Do you
hilarious.
still phone him?
Russell. Oh, but that was well funny.
When your
Russell,
belt broke.
You're a great performer. You're magnificent. You're one of the best entertainers in your genre. In your genre? So funny. You had a view, Noel Fielding, and possibly Alan Carr. Alan Carr is on the show later, as is Paul McKenna. So, what, should we listen to? Oh no, it's the newsy poos in a minute.
News, isn't it?
Well, might as well read some emails or something. Oh God, I'm busting for a wee. Do you want to pin, everyone? Pin, keep the craze of pin going. A lot
Someone
of people
said that to me in public.
Someone said pin to you. I get it. I love it. People say it to me. I was doing a job for this, this new TV show we're doing on Channel 4. It's on next Friday, recording it tomorrow. Like the producer of The Trail. Is it Wednesday? We're recording it on Monday, and then it's on the telly Friday on Channel 4. It's called Comedy Live Presents, something like that.
I think it's live on Friday, actually.
Oh yeah, live. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Live. Oh yeah, I remember. It's live. That's when it happened when you're there. So anyway, yeah, the producer of that come up and went, pin. People say it to me. It's good, isn't it? It's a good meeting. It's a good greeting, I think. Pin. We should say it to each other. Don't have to stab people with a pin. I think it's more important that people say it.
Let's have it as the new hello. Pin,
because hello just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Just came for. It used to be an exclamation.
Let's have it as ciao, so you can use it for a greeting and also a goodbye.
What? Have it as what? Ciao.
Yeah,
it's the same as ciao. Pin. Yeah, all right. It's ciao now, isn't it? Yeah? You don't have to stab someone with a pin unless it's an official situation.
Nip when you go.
Nip. I was dirty. I've got a new one. Pinch. And then pinch people. Pinch. Like that. Why not? What are you looking at me like that for?
It's a bit annoying.
Of course it's annoying. Life is annoying. You're going to end up dead in a grave. How are you going to deal with that? Pincer! It was a pincer movement across Germany, the bloody old Nazis. Dearest Russ, Matt and G and everyone else, says Chris in a New Forest. My nan responds with every single comment to anyone makes with, oh dear. It's really funny because she doesn't even know she does it anymore. She says it to even positive things. How's your career going, for example? Oh, it's really good. It's going really well. Oh dear. Love you and all the listeners. Oh, nice one, Chris. You are a positive man and we love you also. Freya Valentine. Speaking of the older generation, I had this conversation with my nan on the phone. This is Freya. She said, the nan goes, what are you doing? Making food. What? Making food. Oh, no, that's her, sorry. What? Making food. You'll have to speak up, Ducky. I'm making food. Mending shoes. And then the girl just went, yes, to end the conversation, to make things simple. And this gives me a glorious opportunity to do my impression of Nana Moon. Alfie, don't lift up me naughty, Alfie. Don't pull him to one side, Alfie.
She
don't
never said
breathe
that.
In me, Alfie.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
Stop
Alfie.
it. The voice is good, but the
Grey candy
content's wrong.
floss, Alfie. Grey candy floss, Alfie. What? So what if I say stuff
Nana
out of my
Moon.
mouth? I like Nana Moon. Soon there's going to be a little show. What about when David Icke was fronting the news? That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Here comes the news. Don't believe this stuff. It's a lot of old rhubarb. That sort of stuff. But we won't say that because, I don't know whether it's true or not. It's difficult, but I do appreciate that everything is just vibrations and energy, and we should be in tune with love. And it is a lot of flim flam and flotsam and jetsam. Was Professor Yaffle always go fiddlesticks and flop jam or something?
Yeah, where is that?
Get him to say it, Matt. We're doing the jingle competition later. No, not jingle competition. Jingle race war later.
Oh, fiddlesticks and flapdoodle.
He's a funny little guy.
Flapdoodle.
What does that even mean? That never caught on. We'll bring that back. Flapdoodle. What's that other word we were going to bring back? Drop-ins. I saw a fella investigating my drop-ins the other day. Take your chopstick out of my drop-ins. I've got a problem.
I want to bring back
my
drat.
drop-ins.
I'm always going on about
Drat. Yeah, drat.
drat.
Oh, drat. Yeah, all right, we'll try and bring that back. All right, OK, time for a bit of the old news. Later on the show, Paul McKenna and Noel Gallagher, one of my teachers. We might try and break a record. The Jingle Race War will be coming up. More of your emails. Thanks for staying with us. Keep calling us if you feel like it. Shall we take a bloody call from someone one day?
Yes.
All right,
Desperate to talk to someone who isn't you.
Hey, that hurts, baby, and it never stopped. Hey, pull my skin back. Take milk! This is the news! Take milk!
Sorry.
Damaged Goods, Gang of Four. You listen to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. I'm here, as always, with Matt Morgan. You're right, Matthew.
Very well.
You look well, I suppose. Mr. G's over there, Poet Laureate of the show. Before Gang of Four, it were, of course, a bit of the old news. Guess who we've been joined by? How could you possibly guess? Because it's secret still at this moment. Later on in the show, we've got Alan Carr coming up, Noel Gallagher if he answers his bloody phone. But actually now, here, physically here, Paul McKenna. He's just there. Paul McKenna.
Thank
Thank you.
Oh, we'll never tire of him, never.
Why are you touching your nipples?
Because you're near, Paul McKenna, because you've hypnotised me, and whenever I see you, you make me do a little bit of tit milk. Straight
Stop
out.
saying tit milk.
Why? Why have
It's
I
an
got
obsession.
I don't think it's even a rude word.
Tit milk, well, it's after 10, you can probably say tit milk.
I think you'll probably say
hope
tit
so.
milk after 10. You can probably drink tit milk after 10.
Would you heat it up in the microwave?
No, just have it direct from the tip, straight out. Once, there was a lactating woman once I was involved with. She hadn't even had a baby and weren't pregnant or nothing, but she lactated. I must say, it was bloody brilliant.
Did it arouse you?
It certainly did, actually, Paul. Oh, look, he's getting in my brain box now. He's having a look round in me noggin. Look here, he'll say I'm a pervert or something now. Watch, go on, watch him go. Oh, what's that to do with me mum or something? Is it you? You're the pervert, mate, you. You and your books, Dr. Mesmer.
Are you going to bring the monkeys up?
Yeah. Probably bring up the monkeys. The monkeys when Paul, we were playing a light-hearted game of if you had to have sex with an animal, which one would it be? All of us played in a rather light-hearted fashion. Matt
Paul
said
had
a
an icy
flamingo.
stare, didn't he? Paul McKenna's icy stare.
Stared to the monkeys. Monkeys like that. Then he made the shape of a monkey's vagina with his fingers and went, monkeys, monkeys, like that. And then he put on a PG Tips advert on his laptop and started licking up the screen, pulled down his trousers and pants, and he was clearly aroused.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
I know, Paul. Really, you're just expressing yourself, and why wouldn't you? You are Paul McKenna, mind doctor, Dr. Mesmer. But yeah, that lactating thing, very good, and like a lot of sexual things, very nice while the lactating milk is coming on to you. But then after, of course, the point of climax, you think, oh Christ, my sheet smells of yoghurt. Like that, you've got to deal with the problem. Hey, that's the reality. That is the reality. As Mr. G always says, after ecstasy, the laundry. Yeah? That's the way of the world.
Mr. G.
Well, he's a Buddhist, isn't he? He says things like that, Mr. G. He will come out of it. Come on in, Paul. What are you flogging?
Do you know, I'm all flogged out this week. I've been and whored myself on the media, and so I just come in to see you tonight.
Well, it's lovely to see you.
It is lovely to see you.
You've probably got a book out, I suppose, have you?
Well, yeah, I have. I've got another. I have got actually, it's a revised version of my thin book.
What a lot of tosh it probably is as well, your thin book.
It was selling just a few more than yours last week, but
Mine sold millions already!
But you've overtaken me again this week.
Woohoo! Back on top, where I belong, see? Look at me, I'm the Muhammad Ali of publishing. You can't keep me down. I'll come back at you.
Well, but you see, now having mentioned it on your high-rating shows, this could be an own goal having me on. Mine may, surpass you this week.
What about this for a little message? Don't buy Paul McKenna's book. If you do, you are endorsing paedophilia. Paul McKenna's secret objectives is to create more paedophiles. That's all he's ever cared about. That's all he'll ever care about. Not really, it's a nice man mucking about, sorry. So, yeah.
I think people will go out and buy it now in spite of that, or to find out what the terrible things are in it.
They will, Paul. I don't know if it's that popular. Perhaps you have been too long abroad, Mr. McKenna, where having sex with monkeys and children is acceptable. But here in England, there are things we value rather more. Things like pageantry, honour, nobility, monarchy. Right, Matt?
Yep.
There he goes, Matt Morgan there. Woo! So, all right, hold on a minute. What should we talk about? Oh, yeah, we've been talking about how the elderly, bless them, they'll come out with something. Like, people have been giving us emails about stuff that nans say. Here, listen to this from Pammy in Southampton. My nan bought me Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire for Christmas. As I was opening it, she said, you can probably guess what it is by the shape. Then she went to say to my mum, you can exchange the VD at the shop if she's already got it, can't she? Oh, bless her, you lovely old nan, bless you. Oh, she lived in a dream world.
Do you think we'll end up like that? We won't understand technology in the future.
I hate that idea, Matt. I hate the idea of growing old. What about that brilliant Alan Bennett short story where he talks about, like, old folks' homes being filled with people called Lil and Ruby and Rose. And he goes, and one day, old folks' home will be filled with Kylies and
Darren, yeah.
Oh, but they're there, it's waiting for them too. Darren's drooling into their beards and all this. Oh, God. Old Alan Bennett, he'll knock out some pay-for-us. Can we get him on here? Do you reckon he'd come on here? He probably wouldn't want to talk to us, would he? Make him. Right, we're going to try and get him. Not tonight, he'll be a bed, won't he? By now, Alan Bennett, you can't imagine he's strutting around, kicking over bins, sniffing glue in Camden Town. It's unlikely. Yeah. So, there, Paul, that's what we're obsessed with, the elderly.
Yeah, but you know the thing I don't understand is, at what age does it change? Because when you're younger, if you fall over, you say, I fell over. When you're old, you have a fall.
you start to die, didn't you? As soon as you fall down, onset of death, just right there and then. But me, I read a good letter in Viz once. Old people, why do old people die when they fall over? They should take a leaf out of my book. When I fall over, I simply get up, brush myself down and carry on with my day. It's really good.
You had a fall the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually. I fell down 2 steps going into my kitchen and I landed sort of on my knee and I sort of suppressed the urgent rage within myself. I thought, I'm not going to scream, I'm not going to give my floor the satisfaction of letting it know that it's won. Matt was upstairs. Made me hate Matt a bit because he didn't come to my aid, in the words of Simply
How on
Red.
earth would I have known?
I don't know. I used to as well, as a lad, Paul, and make of this what you will. Say I was around with Dad's or something, I go, I'd lay at the bottom of the stairs and wait for my dad. I could hear him out in the garden and mowing the lawn or something. I'd just lay at the bottom of the stairs and then my dad would come in, see me laying at the foot of the stairs, go, "You all right, Russell? You all right? What's up?" I go, "Yeah, I fell down the stairs." The whole thing was a fabrication. What about that?
To get attention.
Just wanted a bit of attention.
Yeah.
That's all I was after, Paul.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Maybe that is why you've gone into show business, as
For attention.
literally from that moment it began.
You wouldn't say that I've got a God-given talent at all, an incredible gift with language, performance and born
One of the best
entertainer.
in your genre.
One of the best. I told you. Yeah, that's funny. Did you hear that? Ricky Gervais called up this show once.
Yes.
And we're talking about you. And I goes, he was like giving me some, like, before I was doing the DVD, when you spoke to me once, you went, "Okay, Russell," and I phoned you up and my belt had broken and I was about to go on stage and we had to delay the thing. G had to do half hour on stage
Yes,
with
I
bloody
remember,
poems.
yeah.
He started doing W.B. Yeats in the end, when he was doing his own bloody poems. Right? And I was talking to you, I was like, "Oh, Paul, I feel a bit freaked out." And you go, "Okay, Russell, it's okay. Center yourself. Do you think of a number 10? Talk yourself down. Everything's going to be okay. You're a great performer. You're a wonderful entertainer. You're one of the best performers in your genre." We narrowed it down to about 4 people.
Well, I just have to be careful if, say, another comedian calls, a few minutes later, and then, if I've said you're the best comedian, then they might kick it off,
Yeah, well, it might, but how come I'm the one that ends up getting my feelings hurt? Paul,
Do you need some more help?
Yes, I do. I mentioned you in my
clearly
Bleeding
does.
Bookie work.
You did mention it
Several times.
No, and I appreciate that, actually.
What I really wish I'd done now is outed you as a paedophile and a pursuer of violent bestiality with the Simeon Brotherhood. So, Matthew, we've got Alan Carr coming up later on the show. We've got to get him on before McKenna starts rabbiting on, taking over things. I wonder if we could get you to do some Dr. Mesmer-style trickery. He's not really do that sort of stuff no more, do you? It's much more positive thinking.
Well, you could probably come up with something.
I wonder if we could brainwash Matt into being a bit less of a pain in the arse all the time.
No, I don't want anything done.
Oh,
I'll change.
I don't like that people dabbling in my brain box. Look at you, you're like an old nan yourself. Oh no, I couldn't have that. I wouldn't like that. You do say that.
Not natural.
You say things like a nan. What about that time when when these sexy birds turned up here to award me some award for being a sexy vegetarian?
Yeah.
And then Matt, there's this bit where Matt went, I goes, "Right, Matt, do a link." And he went, "Okay," and swallowed. Goes, "Look at you swallowing because you're all attracted to them girls." Goes, "I was going to swallow then anyway." Like he's got a swallow schedule.
And I'm holding a little handbag on my chest.
Yeah, you was like with your little clutch bag.
Doing the cardi up.
Oh, stop it! You're looking at my boobies! Right, why don't we listen to... What do you want to listen to? Dead Soul, Magic Number. All right, we'll listen to that. Then we'll talk to Alan Carr Crash. That's what I sometimes call him. I like that, but not in a bad way. I love Alan Carr. I think he's a fantastic comic. A brilliant man. Sexy, adorable, exudes natural warmth, self-effacing. That's Alan Carr for you. So we're going to get him up, right? But first, Magic Number. Then more McKenna. Then Gallagher. Loads going on. Della Soul of the Soul, Magic Number. Listen to Russell Brown on BBC Radio 2. You can text us on 88291 if you feel like it. We're here with Paul McKenna and his manager Claire. Scarcely out of the tabloids, that woman, though. I ain't seen too much of her lately. You've been behaving yourself, have you, Claire?
I've been keeping my head down.
Yeah? Been loving angels instead, have you? Don't want to, give the game away, but she has a certain celebrity lover. She's made 1 or 2 advances in that area. Let me entertain you, Claire. Don't want to give the game away. Okay, well, actually, we've got Alan Carr on the phone. Let's not muck him around. Alan, you there, mate?
Hello, love, you all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, you're such a warm and lovely man. Immediately, I feel relaxed. And why wouldn't I if everything's okay in the world? Are you all right, Alan?
Yeah, can I tell you what my nan says? You know
Go
what
on.
she calls a penis, my nan?
Yeah, go on. What, mate?
An oojar.
Ooh, Charles. Where's she
I think
from?
that sounds dirtier than cock.
Don't you?
It does. Apologise for Alan Carr, as we knew we'd have to. Yeah, Oojas. That sounds like Oojas. Where's that
No,
one?
she said, I look out the window and had tight trousers. I could see his oojar.
What a way to live her life, looking at people's Oojas. I don't know where that's derived
Very
from.
lonely now my granddad died.
Oh, that poor man. He must have lived a miserable existence, that poor fella. Alan, have you been all right, darling?
Yes, I have. I've just been pottering about the house, you know.
Where do you live now?
Like
Do you
an
live in...
old person. Yeah, just made myself a nice Thai green curry.
Yeah, did you? That's quite domesticated.
I know.
Do you live the life of a bachelor?
Yes, a confirmed one, I'm
No.
afraid. Yeah, just sitting in looking through a JML catalogue, you know.
Yeah, keep yourself out of trouble. Have you got any pets or anything like that?
No.
We once asked Paul McKenna, who's actually in the... No, I couldn't do that to you. No, we once asked Paul McKenna, who's in the studio, for a laugh, we asked him if you had to have sex with an animal, which animal would you have sex with? Paul McKenna began to salivate wildly and said a monkey, his eyes glazed over, it was a terrifying spectacle. But I'd like to ask you the same question, Alan. Is there, if you had to have sex with an animal, is there one that you find particularly alluring?
I think a swan.
The grace, the
They're
elegance.
so elegant, aren't they?
They
Can you
are.
imagine the children?
That'd be beautiful. Lovely little porcelain things. They'd be gorgeous, wouldn't they? But as
My
you...
glasses just balancing on their beak.
And perhaps your lovely toothy pegs coming out of a beak. That'd look glorious as well. I'd like that as a child. But you know, Alan, they're very fiercely protective of their eggs, a swan.
Well, I am too, you see, so that's why it's a perfect match.
Perfect match, two of yous protecting. Broody pair. You and a swan, be all lovely. Hold on, so I've got something here that I need to... Oh, yeah, right. So, you know, do you go in much for this? Have you ever tried to have a hypnotist dabble with your noggin, Alan?
No, I haven't. But I like those watching them. You know those people like who have got a phobic of buttons
Yeah.
or like fish, and
Yeah.
then by the end of the show they're like rubbing a tin of tuna and they're cured.
It's lovely. Paul McKenna used to do that as his job, but he
I do, yeah.
drifted off into zoophilia eventually.
Yeah.
So, what...
Is it true though that people are really scared of buttons?
Yeah, some of them are. I did actually one where this lady was scared of jelly, and if you used to wobble it, she'd go mad. And so I know, and it is all amusing to us, but they are
There's
really
a serious
terrified.
side to it, isn't there, Paul?
There is. There's
But-
the,
Oh, come off it.
No, Alan,
Yeah,
there's
they
a
are.
serious side. Imagine that. If you're being scared of jelly, it'd be like hell. What do you reckon's at the root of that? I reckon she was abused by some
she
blubbery, gutted perv.
What about trifle? Maybe she was interfered with by a trifle.
no, we tried trifle. It was just came down to jelly.
Right.
Oh.
And yeah, it will be some incident in which jelly was involved, and the trauma would have gotten associated in there.
What? How can you have a trauma involving jelly? I suppose a child's party. I suppose
Quite
gone
easy
horribly
to
wrong.
avoid.
That's
jelly.
it. Yeah.
Jelly is difficult. It's not difficult to avoid. It's a good point,
I
Matt.
can't
Because
remember
when's the last time you
some.
saw jelly round a tin of corned beef or something? It doesn't ever happen, does it?
It's a child's party, I think. Yeah.
It's like being scared of Halley's Comet. Why bother? Just get on with it. You're never going to see it. Once you've been, oh no, only another 72 years. Ah, I can feel it. It's about me. Ridiculous thing, isn't it? Alan, have you got any irrational fears?
I don't know, but is this irrational? I hate sharks.
Yeah, it's irrational to hate them.
That's not irrational because they could kill you if you fall in its mouth.
I suppose so, darling, yeah. But you just be careful. That's all I will say. You don't go wandering near a shark's mouth.
Is that irrational, though?
Paul McKenna, you're the expert on
I think
rationality.
it's a very healthy fear to have. But
Healthy.
are there a lot in your area?
Well, not in Upper Holloway.
No.
No, of course there isn't. He's safe
No.
as houses, isn't he? in
I think
Holloway?
you're okay for now, yeah.
If he
Oh,
say
thank
he was dreadfully afraid of female sex offenders, he's
Yeah.
quite near Holloway prison, so
Yeah.
that would be
Well,
a rational
it'd be
fear.
it'd be a drawback to being in the area, yeah.
Certainly would be. I often wonder what it'd be like to... Have you ever wondered what it might be like, Alan, to go into Holloway and just, like, mince about a bit, have a look at them, perhaps bang on the bars and go, hello, girls, you know, like bad girls or something, get them going?
Oh, I could be like Vinegar Tits in Prisoner Cell Blockade.
Of course you could, given half a chance. If you're not held back by this ridiculous fear of sharks, there's nothing you can't achieve. It's getting in the way of you, Alan. Alan, what about your
Holding me
DVD?
back, isn't it, Russell?
It's holding you right back. Although, Tooth Fairy, your DVD is, I believe, now the best-selling DVD in human history. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's a lie, but thanks for saying it anyway.
I watched
love.
some of it. It's bloody funny.
Oh, have you seen it? You're just saying it?
No, I've got it. I've got it in my house. One of my mates had it. I goes, "I'll borrow us that."
What's your
Took it
favourite
home.
bit?
My favourite bit would have to be the bit where Alan Carr goes about, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to come out with a ping pong table out of Dixon's or something like that." He's sort of like, because his dad. Because what I like about one of my favourite things is that Alan's dad is like a football manager. I'd like to say, Alan had to grow up with a dad that wanted him to be a footballer. Look what he turned out to be. You remind me of Neil Razor Ruddock quite a lot. Alan. Yeah, so I think that's why I like that. I like that aspect of old Alan Carr and his way. We're not talking about him like that.
Who's been saying it's Alan Carr Cratch?
Oh yeah, me. But like, only in a like Alan Carr. I just like saying it. It's not in a. Is that derogatory? Shall I not say it?
Oh no, I've heard worse.
Yeah, I don't mean in a rude or derogatory. I think you're a wonderful comedian, you're a beautiful entertainer.
Nice. Thanks, love.
What about do you remember when I introduced you that time at Edinburgh when I was all drunk and on drugs and had sick in my mouth and was causing aggro and bleeding and went, "Oh, here's Alan Carr, you dirty paedophile pigs!" I was like that, and then Alan had to go, "Oh dear, he's a confident young man." He'd only done about 5 gigs, he had to pull it all back together.
What you did is you were so angry you threw that Bacardi breezer and it smashed on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to retrieve the gig, and then the woman came up behind me with a mop and started mopping it down, and I said, "Don't you think I'm struggling enough?"
Oh, I need you then, oh dear. Mopping up Bacardi breezers.
Gig back, and she's got me bloody Mr. Muffle out. I'm just like, whatever.
Oh, but, well, in a way, Alan, perhaps it's contributed to your huge success. I like to think, in a way, those early gigs there, having to deal with hostile crowds. I ended up in Edinburgh Royal Infirmary that night because I had a fight with security. Ridiculous bloody business. Silly, I was shouting my head
I
off.
would have wanted to kick your head in after that gig.
I deserved it. So someone needed to step in and do something. And then I went to Edinburgh Royal Infirmary and there's these 14-year-old boys in there. I goes, "Yeah, lads, here's 40 quid. Go and get some smack." Would you believe those children didn't come back with my heroin? And I'd like to say now, you are untrustworthy heroin dealers. Shame on you! Shame on you! Alan Carr, you darling man, thank you very much for coming on our radio show. It's always lovely to hear you. And
thank you ever so much. I'll have a lovely night.
We will, dear. Take care there.
Yes.
Take care, love.
Watch out for the sharks, Alan. Watch out for the sharks.
Bye-bye.
Ujal.
Ujal, the final word there from Alan Carr. Ujal, his grandmother's word for genitalia. Here's a message. Russell, do you agree that Alan Carr sounded a bit like Professor Yaffle? No, because Professor Yaffle is very serious about things, isn't he? Like that.
Yeah, he's not like that.
What, like how I'd done him just then?
No, he was like that, but he's not Alan Carr.
It's nothing like him. Completely
He's not
different.
camp in any way.
That's from John,
Yaffle.
who's just won at Monopoly, so he claims, but we've got no evidence of that at all. Hold on, this is an interesting email about Paul McKenna here. Years ago, my mum got me, says, KK. Bloody, that's a bit worrying. Oh, kin, because I thought, if this is from the Ku Klux Klan, I'm damned if I'm reading that out. Some of their beliefs are awful. Dear Russell and Matt and G, a few years ago, my mum got me one of Paul McKenna's hypnosis CDs to stop me being nervous about my driving test. Ever since then, whenever I'm alone with our pet dog, I find it sexually attractive and try and touch its anus. Lots of love, Kin. Well, Paul!
It's a side effect that occurs sometimes.
Well, why don't we have a little listen now to some of Paul McKenna? I think we've got some of his
we've
stuff,
got a little
haven't we?
sample of one of your CDs.
Should we have a listen to that? Be careful now, because this is deeply hypnotic and you could become a monkey pervert like Paul McKenna himself.
During this experience, it's best to be lying
Look at him
down.
trying to sound
It's
all
usually
mysterious.
helpful to close your eyes. You will not become
I'm
unconscious.
trying to relax people
but
with
there
it.
will be changes.
Right, well, you're making
All
me
you
feel on
need to
edge.
do is relax. At the end of this
Imagine
process,
saying that in a bar, can't you?
awaken
All you need to do is
refreshed and
relax.
invigorated. Amplify those rich feelings. You can find yourself enjoying that.
Oh, it was a monkey all along! You were hypnotising a monkey! Why do you do it? Why do you hang around zoos, tricking orangutans? Monkey World have banned him. It's Paul McKenna there. That was a genuine bit of one of his CDs. The truth is out there. What a dirty devil he is.
Terrible.
Why does he do it, do you think? Is it
There
for
will
attention?
be changes.
There will be. You're not going to live as a monkey. Instead of unpeeling that banana, why don't you treasure my pleasure and get yourself some sexy leisure? So what should we have a listen to now, Mafu?
Whatever you want. Look at the screen.
I want to listen to that Emma Pollock song, Acid Test, I think it's called.
Yeah?
I like that, yes.
Not the Coronation Street theme.
Yeah, let's have a quick listen to that. We
Listen
were
to
on about that. It's a very maudlin song, the
World's
Coronation
most
Street.
depressing music.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. place.
It doesn't make you want to go to the north, does it?
It does not, no.
It's
And
not
I mean, I
not
love the people of the north and the north of this country.
But when you see that and then those terraced houses, it doesn't lift you up, does it?
No, it doesn't, Paul.
Aren't they made of chocolate? Oh, no, that's
dear.
never.
No, that's Willy Wonka. You're confused. Right, let's listen to Emma Pollock now with her thing, Acid Test. She sing it out her mouth. She come here once, but I was in Hawaii, wasn't I? Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Emma Pollock! It's Acid Test by the brilliant Emma Pollock. You listen to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. I'm here with Matt, E. Morgan and Mr. G, and of course Paul McKenna and his manager and tabloid trollop, Claire. There she is, sat over there.
Are we allowed to talk about what you were just asking Paul then?
Yeah,
in that song?
but I've not nothing to be ashamed of, mate. I've got nothing to be embarrassed
You
about.
think Paul's like Father Christmas, don't you? Paul, I'd like to be thinner. That's first. And also a world leader.
Look, there's nothing wrong with me getting Paul McKenna to train my brain to be a cult leader and a
cult
messiah.
leader.
Well, firstly, a cult leader. We'll get a nice island somewhere, get a load of people in the cult, creative people, develop an ideology,
Oh,
then we'll
here we
start
go.
spreading the ideology over the world, especially now I'm a crack shot.
What would the ideology be, though? What would the
Peace.
cult be based on? Peace?
Love, yep, a leisure society.
Free love.
The love will be at a small price, Paul. Yes, I'm not giving out for nothing. Some of my sexual moves. That's just one of them. That's one of my oral ones.
He's not joking about that.
What about
He
the
goes on about it a
revolution?
lot. No, your oral moves.
Yeah, well, I've got some good oral moves, you know.
He
They're
treats
tricky moves.
a woman like a kazoo. He's trying to sell these ideas to me.
I make them sing. Matthew, if you've got the confidence to carry off some of these moves, try this one. This
Then
is
women
called-
will be very polite and not say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Because they're spasming, mate, in sexual glory. Try that one, and also try this one. But you've got to commit
Those are
to
not
it.
sexual moves. It's a
Commit to it.
children's TV show between someone's legs.
I'm the engine.
Somebody at the door.
It's disgusting, olives.
I finished.
My sexual moves, mate, are second to none. I got trophies all around my house. Shag of the year, vegetarian what does sex of the year. I've got all sorts of trophies.
But is that,
letters.
honestly, I reckon women just polite.
Why would they be
How
polite?
can that work? Going,
Because of the vibration. It's doing, like if you feel the noise of a vibrator on your lips. I want me pudding. He always wanted his pudding, that grandad. He was
Out of a
never
good double
truly
meaning.
happy.
I want me pudding.
I want me pudding. You can't have your pudding. Calm down. What's going on in this show? Listen, Matthew, you know the noise a vibrator makes, or the feeling of a vibrator on your lips.
No.
You can recreate that with your own brilliant sex moves if you're me.
Why don't you just
or
buy a
anyone.
vibrator, you
I've
tight
got
kit?
one. I've got hundreds of the bloody things. They're everywhere.
Get one
My
that
house
touches
is
your
like
forehead like a miner.
What?
Like a little miner's light, but a vibrator there.
Oh, well, I'm a unicorn. I'm a unicorn. This is unicorn for you. I got a letter here. It's from someone calling herself Scarlett. Here, how it go? My auntie had a fear of buttons and she thought she'd been buttoned into something in a past life. Love the show, Scarlett. Is that true, Paul? Could she have been buttoned into something in a past life? Could it have happened?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
I know about fear of buttons. I knew
What?
someone who had one.
How did you know?
It's because when you're a toddler and your cardigan's done up too tight.
Restrictive,
so
isn't it?
you associate buttons with feeling...
Scared of buttons, mate.
No.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not.
You're nervous. You're nervous.
Stop saying buttons.
Look at my fly. Is that getting you going,
That's a
mate?
zip, you fool.
Yeah, it's a zip. You're loving me now, aren't you? Now you're feeling it. Here's one from Grace Guest. That's what her name is.
Nice name.
After an awkward silence watching Di's hearse on the TV at the funeral for Lady Diana at my mum's house, my gran Sadie was the first to feel the awkward silence. I think it's terrible how she was chased by them pepper army on bikes. Oh, it's a bit of an animal. That silly, silly Nan. God bless her.
Oh.
What would we do without them lovely elderly people? That's nice, isn't it? Right, jingle competition. Should we do the jingle? Oh, not jingle competition. It's not a competition. Jingle race war. Competition's a band on the BBC. That's why we're doing our unique jingle race war. This week, it's Islam v Christianity. So let's have a listen to some of the entries for our jingle contest. Should we listen to the first one, Matthew? What's the geezer's name? Parainen.
Who's the geezer's name?
No, Parainen. This is our jingle race war. We're trying to find good jingles for our show. What happened to that gay one that I liked? I never hear it no more.
Which one?
I don't know, we found one that
We'll
we liked.
find it again.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Calm
Concentrate.
down,
He
dear.
balls up all those Smith songs, playing Professor Yaffle over
Right, we've
them.
got the gay one.
Can't do your actual job.
Do you want to hear the gay one that you like?
Yeah.
Russell's regular item.
Gay! Hello and welcome to my regular item, Gay. If you've got a problem with gayness, perhaps I can help you with
You
that
only wanted to
problem.
hear the jingle. It wasn't the start of the whole
Well, it's
piece.
professional. If you hear the jingle,
Like an
you've got to do the
automaton.
thing. It's because of McKenna dabbling in me noggin. That's why that is. Aha, here's someone with a gay problem. Kind regards, Andy Phillips. I've been going around pretending to be gay in the hope of getting fag hags to grope and generally get some attention off them. An old man I met in a gay bar said he'd look after me in the vain hope that he could one day have his way with me. So as I'm a dosser, I thought he was too good to miss and moved into his house straight away. He does all my cooking and cleaning, washes my clothes, he takes particular care of my underpants, tidies the room he gave me. The trouble is I can no longer get any women, and being gay is now ruining my life, but without any sex of any kind. Should I ride it out and see what happens, or go back to live with my mum and dad? Well, good scheme, pretending to be gay, because I've always noticed that the tendency of women to let gay men touch their boobs, and I've always been against it, very much against it. Have you seen that, Paul? Gay men, they will let a woman touch their... a woman will let a gay man touch their boobs, won't they?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll
They
take your word
do.
for it.
Like, oh, hello, yes. And like then the women go, can I touch them? Oh, I don't know what all the fuss is about. Come on, we've all seen that. And I
Really?
think, yes, it's happened. Right, listen, Claire, you're a woman. Now, when you're not whoring your way around Hollywood, perhaps you've spent some time with gay men. Do they ever touch your boobs?
Absolutely.
Right, proof.
The gays, they're always at it.
They're always at it,
But
the gays.
women let straight men have sex with them, so maybe you're aiming too low.
Oh dear! If only I had loads of trophies endorsing all of my moves.
Are you there, love? Nearly there. Hang on, I'll do a fire engine. Nino!
Are you enjoying this, dear? I want me pudding. I think that this gay lad is on a very good number anyway. So, yeah,
he's
keep it
lying.
up. He's made that up to impress us. But what a creative young man he is. So,
He's got a sugar daddy.
He deserves a girlfriend or whatever he wants. And actually become gay, have it off with that bloke, and that'll be a laugh. Right, now it's time for our jingle race war. As you saw there, we use the jingles that win this contest. I mean race war. So let's now have another jingle. This one's by a lad claiming to be called Ernoprenanian or something like that.
The Russell Brand Show with Matt and Mr. G. 2 hours of good time.
Too long. It's too long. That's all right. It's okay, but it's made our show sound a bit like, oh, hello, like we were whimsical or something, doesn't it?
Also said 2 hours of good times for free,
When, in fact...
highlighting the fact that we do this for free.
What do you mean?
Well, people get it for free.
Good of us to do that then, is
Yeah.
it?
Well, no, it just rubs it in a bit. We can get money for
What
this.
do you want? More money?
Pay us.
There'd be commercials in it.
No, we wouldn't do that.
It'd be awful. We'd hate it. Right, listen to this. This is from Nathan Jackson. This is his attempt at a jingle.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Russell,
Oh, up there.
Matt and G.
Yeah.
The troublesome trio. Music and comedy too. So keep your ears open. Right here on Radio 2.
Not bad, but
Bit
it's,
like the Nickelback problem, isn't
it's a bit like...
Mr. G.
Marty McFly! Well, what I don't understand is why, like, these people are not listening to jingles that already exist and then using that as a basic template, are they? Because they're creating all new genres or
Are you a
something.
teacher?
Yeah, I am, mate.
Read the question, kids.
Come on, it's in the question. Why would they do that? How many apples? What does Barry want? What does Barry need? What does stratification mean? None of it means nothing. Don't bother going to school. It's just indoctrination, turn you into an automaton to make you function as part of a unit. Join the revolution. Join the revolution. Listen to this by someone claiming to be called Neil Arnold, and it's a jingle for Matt Morgan there. So let's have a listen to this. It's number 40.
Matthew. Hello, Russell.
Yeah, all right. It's nice that you've turned up. Matt Morgan. Just sounds like someone having a breakdown. Still going.
Sounds like he made it out of offcuts.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? In a butcher shop, bit of bacon rind, bit of chicken skin, bit of old kidney. Stick it in a post box.
Neil.
Put it in a nappy. Neil, you're wasting your time. Right, here's one for Noel Gallagher, who we will ring up. Let's ring him up in a minute, see if he's there. Can you try and get Noel Gallagher on the blower? Poor old sod. Antonia Manette, this is one for Noel Gallagher. Let's have a listen to this. Noel Gallagher!
My slightly effeminate weird mate. Look, Cranberry juice on top. Keeping my text, that's an outrage. Did not know that, and I couldn't be less bothered. You're an idiot. What? I'm having a poo.
Oh, I don't remember him saying that.
He's never said that.
I'm having a poo. When did he say that?
Wallim's party.
At Wallim's party?
Oh, yeah. Didn't you make him go up to someone and say that or something?
No, I don't know why he would do a thing like that. Let's get him on the phone. We'll talk to him. I might go and see Morrissey with him on Tuesday night. You'll come in begrudgingly, Matt. You might want to come and see bloody Morrissey, McKenna and Claire.
I can't.
Claire can try and have it off with him. McKenna? Are you busy, are you?
Yes. Yeah, LA.
You're in LA, best place for you, perverts. Right, okay, so yeah, we'll try and get Noel Gallagher on the phone. Is he answering the phone? He's not answering. What's wrong with him? Where is he? What he's watching?
Should we listen to another jingle?
Okay, we'll listen to another jingle.
I want to listen to my other one.
What do you listen to your other one? You're such a spoiled brat. Who's it by?
This is by Matt Goldhill.
What a square.
Matt Morgan, what are you? Matt Morgan, what are you?
I like the sentiments.
It's really making me reflect on what I am.
Good.
Matt Morgan, what are you?
I'm glad someone's had that effect on you.
Matt Morgan, what are you? Original victim, original victim.
The original victim, Matt Morgan there. So that's quite good. I quite
It's a
like that.
creative one, that, wasn't it?
Quite good, yeah.
I liked
What's
it
that
because it was, pathos, melancholy, made Matt ask what he is, which is something that needs to be done. I'm sure we'd all agree with that. It's all smug.
It's beautiful, actually.
Cosseted in his own identity, a bit too pleased with himself, and he there, all nice and uptight. Right, okay, shall we listen to a record or something?
Yep. Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, stick it on. And then after that, we'll hear Mr. G's poem, see if we can get Noel Gallagher on the phone, he's not answering them, and let's try some of his other phones, try his house in the countryside, let's get him, track him down like a dog. Remember, what about when they used to spit? Do you remember some of the behaviour of Oasis? Full of them, so, yeah, best band in the world, oh, taking drugs like a cup of tea, oh, kicking a kiddie in the guts, that's just like saluting the Queen. Yeah, arrogance, breathtaking, let's bring him down a peg or two, yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Should we listen to, what is it, Queens of the Stone Age?
Yeah, Feel Good Hit of the Summer.
Feel Good Hit of the Summer. Why are you looking at me like
Give
a little
me a
old
clear
man?
cue, that's what I'm...
Okay, well listen to this then.
You
want
go, shall we,
radio.
shall we?
Oh, right,
Do you
dear.
want me to get the tray? Do you want a biscuit? Just tell me when to press the button.
Oh dear, I don't know
Dodgering old
about
fool.
that. I don't know if I trust him. His eyes are too close together. Well, all right then, I'll give you a clear cue. Right, we'll be talking to Noel Gallagher later. I've enjoyed very much Feel Good Here to Summer, that's Queens of the Stone Age, it's Russell Brand, BBC Radio 2. Who'd believe that I just sprinted back from a lavvy? No one would, because of the old professionalism you get when you listen to the Russell Brand Show, Radio 2. We've won loads of awards for this podcast. Won, best podcast, didn't we?
It's a radio show. It's a radio
What is
show.
it? Oh, yeah, but it's a podcast when the person that's listening to this bit's listening to it. Radio show at the moment. Yeah, I mean, mate, it depends how you see the linear nature of time, you know. That depends how you look on things. Doesn't it, Paul? Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
That's Paul McKenna's confirmation. That's all any of us have ever needed. He's the daddy that we never had. He's the daddy that gives you grey see-through tit milk, nurtures you, makes you raise up higher than an eagle, so he does. Come on, Paul, give people some advice to make them feel positive about the world.
What, now?
Anytime.
All right, well, think about all the good things in your life.
What, like?
Well, like, who loves...
Matt, G.
Who loves you?
Mum, she loved me.
Yeah,
Morrissey, the cat.
yeah.
Morrissey, the pop singer.
What have you
wearing
got,
West
what have you
Ham
got to feel happiest about?
Like, I've got nice hair.
Nice hair, yeah. Anything
Nice,
else?
yeah, nice.
What
House is nice.
makes you feel motivated?
The revolution, the idea of overthrowing the government.
Fantastic.
And the unity of spirit.
What do you feel grateful for?
I got a nice tummy. I'm really good in bed. good at sex. I've got the really good moves.
It's really good at doing noises.
Hey, whoa, stop it. The noises in themselves are quite sexy. Here's an email. Michaela Strachan has a pet monkey or chimp. If she has one, why can't you? Says Amy. Obviously, that question is directed at me, not Paul McKenna, for whom the answer would be only too obvious, because he'd have sex with it against its will. Here is an email from Joanne Haswell. Dear Russell, I believe you're a keen adoptive parent of Monkey World. So am I. I love the place. I adopted Peanut, the golden cheek gibbon, for Christmas. I got my husband some gibbons as well. My mum Sally got sister a stump-tailed macaque, or whatever they're called. I believe you're keen to try and see Jeremy the next time you go. I've seen him in the park. Jeremy's a monkey handler, not in a Paul McKenna way, in a proper professional, legit way. I'd also recommend that you go at 10 in the morning. This is when the gibbons sing to each other. It has a really fantastic sound. It echoes all around the park. I think you're doing a fantastic job bringing people's attention to Monkey World and the wonderful job they do. If you ever fancy some company on your next trip down there, please give me a call. I'd happily spend all day there, and sometimes it's quite difficult to find people who consider it as fascinating as I do. That's Joanne Haswell's words. Well, I like it down Monkey World. Matt, do you want to come down Monkey World?
Yeah, I've never been. It would be nice,
It's lovely. It's brilliant fun. Monkeys, as far as the eye can see, carrying on. I told you, didn't I? One pooed in its hand to try to write on the wall with its poo, like a little artist.
Did it really?
It did, mate. I watched it do it. It just pooed in its own hand and caked it on the wall like it was no
Children
thing.
do that.
Yeah, I know.
It's expression.
It's good, isn't it? So I started out, and look at me now. Barely moved on. Nothing's Everything's changed. Right, hold on, we've got something very important. Let's get G to do his poem. G, you finished your poem, mate? Please welcome now, poet laureate of this show, Mr. G. Oh yeah, we've got to promote that thing. Right, here he is, Mr. G, Mr. G. Woo! Yeah!
Okay, this poem is called Last of the Summer Tit Milk.
Well done!
Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm leaving.
In a realm where old friends tend to greet, shoulders are bumped thrice indiscreet, co-host and poet take seats, awaiting for Yaffel to speak. Who's in the bag? Take a peek. As Topsy's dropped with a squeak. Maybe the mice can fix Nana's pipes with some old therapeutic treats. Bringing flap doodle droppings and drat back into our lives. Genetically speaking, Pin is reaching a new millennium high. As McKenna hypnotizes, Alan Carr swans along for the ride. Brum! Sounds like someone is noshing off compo with a full plate and a smile.
Mr. G's incorporated the whole show! What an incredible talent! Andrew Motion, some sort of dickhead or something, isn't he? Well, he's a proper poet laureate. Matt, do you remember when we watched that film that we was watching? What was it called?
The football film, In the Hands of the Gods.
About them doing what you always refer, it's people doing ball juggling, young footballers from around Great Britain, working class lads going off on a tour.
Tricks.
Silky skills, you always call it that.
Skills.
Like that's its proper name.
What do you call it? Ball juggling?
Ball juggling,
that doesn't have any
keepy-uppy.
football.
You don't say silky. Well, you can say silky skills, but you say it like an old nan, as if that's his name. Oh, I see some boys doing silky skills at the bus stop. I couldn't relax.
That's what you call doing trumpet noises between someone's legs.
My silky skills.
No, it's good though, isn't it? That film.
I've come. What?
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, get that film. Yeah,
it is actually
Hands
brilliant.
Of the Gods. Good, it is.
Brilliant documentary. It's on
made
DVD.
That? Was it one of your mates?
What?
That film made by Matt's mates is good.
It is
so are other
brilliant.
films though. It was bloody good. We haven't watched it all the way yet because we had to come here, but we watched the end of it
documentary.
later. Good documentary, very well made, beautifully shot, nice characters. In the Hand of Gods. I think it's doing quite well anyway, isn't it? Even without us. Yeah. I saw two lads from it doing some ball juggling or what you'd call silky skills on Upton Park at some match or another. I can't remember who it was, but I spoke to them afterwards. Very lovely lads. They deserve all the success they get, if you ask me, you know. Right, so Paul McKenna, thank you very much for coming here. It's lovely to see you.
It's always good to see you.
Do you think you can elevate me further now that I'm a best-selling author and I've won all these awards for sex and vegetarianism and whatnot? Do you think you can take
lower his ego?
I need that ego.
You are work in progress, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean,
as a human.
Wait, but hold on, I think I can aspire to great heights. You know, it's about time there's a revolution, ain't it?
Absolutely, I can see you. You know, in fact, you know, you could see this whole show as a sort of as a calling to your people. You know,
very much.
I mean, you have a cult following, don't you?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So you're basically building up to starting your own religion, aren't you?
Pretty much. That's always been the aim, Paul. Yeah, just to bring enlightenment and joy into people's lives. What's your little face looking like that?
Maybe I might set myself up as your nemesis.
You, my nemesis, a lovely lad like you, Lucifer, the fallen angel, against me after everything we've been through.
I'm just going to have a black and red version of all your clothes and be all evil. Have a little very thin moustache.
Oh, horrible pig. Thanks even thinking that after what I've put up with you, jumping through that swimming pool cover, letting off that fire extinguisher in the dead of night. Lies.
That's the sort of revolution I'll be leading, not your boring one.
Hey, my one's about spiritual enlightenment and love.
And shotguns.
You said the other day, or on the way here, you go, I'd like to walk around the streets with a gun shooting people. Because I don't think that's the answer, Matt.
I was playing a computer game.
You were talking about actual life, you daft sod. I thought it was Noel Gallagher ringing, it's just a taxi
Does
company.
he actually know you anymore?
No, I don't. We've not spoken for some time. It's
been ages, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, I really want to talk to him, actually. No, I've been texting him because I think he's going to come and see Morrissey on Tuesday at the Roundhouse, Camden. Morrissey's playing. I'll have you know, Morrissey's wearing a West Ham top. I secretly think that he's wearing it to communicate with me.
Yeah, what? Say this every week.
Look at G and Matt looking all bored as if I'm not the most wonderful man ever.
You've said that 3 weeks on the trot.
What? Yeah, so what? I'm just getting the message out there. That's what you're doing, it. Repetition, Paul. It's part of it, isn't it? It's important.
So repetition, the mother of success.
Repetition, the mother of success. Gutted! You are so gutted, you little virgin! Right-o! Okay, so next week it's going to be a fantastic show. Who'll probably come on it? Noel Gallagher. Let's try and get bloody Noel Gallagher come on this show. What's wrong with him? Let's get him in here. Let's get him physically in this room, sit him down and make him have a word with himself.
Yeah, he's got to come round here.
Another PA.
He said he lived round the corner once and then he never came again.
He did, he came round here, he said he was giving me a toy Rolls Royce.
What's that about? What?
My PA, another PA resigns, dropping like flies. I don't know what it is, Matthew. Why can't they
That's the
cling on
first
to
to
the job?
resign, isn't it?
Well, it's not a resign, sort of a teary slamming down to the phone.
Why'd you do those phone calls? Don't say that. That's a person with feelings. Sounded like Scooby-Doo.
Sounded like Scooby-Doo
You're a
resigning from a job.
psychopath. Hang on, lady just shouted at me while employed, has rights, and like Scooby-Doo.
But I love you, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Scooby-Dooby don't expect severance pay.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on, we're all living life. This whole show's put together by a disgraced vicar's son. Why, Nick, you're
He's not
disappointed to death.
disgraced.
He is a disgrace. He can't sleep at night because he is a disgraced
He
vicar's
worries, he's got the
son.
weight of the world on his shoulders.
What
'cause he's
weight?
The second coming.
Oh, the second coming. Me, you mean?
No, he is.
Coincidence. He's not the second coming. Look at him sat there.
you're
Can't
not.
even do his basic bloody job without causing the great big palaver. One time,
He does
chain
a
reaction by
sterling
Diana Ross
job.
come on here. Diana Ross came on here once. She was away on holiday.
You can't do your job.
I can-
Nickelback came on here earlier because of you.
Whoa, this is me doing my job. This is literally me doing my job to a very high standard now. And if you can't take it, perhaps you might like to meet the boys, yeah? Have a look at those guys. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Gee, craning forward, as if you need to crane forward to see that. What are you looking at?
He wants me to do this.
Oliver
I'd like Professor
Postgate.
Yaffle to peck your genitals off.
So would I. What a wonderful moment that would be. Just before it was severed, I think, oh, you dirty little woodpecker. Crikey. So, Paul, thanks very much for coming on and
Oh, it's
pouring
lovely,
yourself
thank you.
further.
Yeah, I like to do that. Thank you.
I hope your mum's listening to the show. Your mother,
Do you know,
who
I hope her radio has broken this evening.
Because she, of course, said when Paul came on the show recently, I didn't like you being on that show, Paul. I think it demeaned you. Really serious. It demeaned. Really serious word. All we said is that he is reaching across the evolutionary bridge into monkey genitalia. That's all we've ever said about Paul
You're the one who
McKenna.
goes to Monkey World every week.
I like those monkeys. I like them. I've never thought of them.
disguise.
I don't fancy monkeys. I think
Testing
they're
your
ugly.
little techniques. Between their little hairy pair of legs.
It's like a chimp's tea party. Give us the fondant fancy. Ah, yeah, it is a bit like a kazoo. Right, okay, now I'm doing quite well. Look at me professionally wrapping up this whole show. Thank you, Oliver Postgate, you brilliant responsible
love him.
broadcaster. We actually love you. For all the gifts he gave us. in
Let's
our
go to
childhood. All
Canterbury
that joy.
Museum and look at the original
Yeah.
Bagpuss.
I wanted to buy it. Like, we spoke to Oliver Postgate, creator of
Yes.
Bagpuss, and I was going, hey, can I buy the original Bagpuss? How did I do?
Postgate, I like your voice. I'm going to buy you.
Yeah, why don't I? Hey, I'd like you to sit round the house and talk to people after they've just orgasmed into my face because of my trumpeteering. Would you like to? Oh, I don't think I'd be interested. Come on, Postgate, give it a chance, man. He was lovely, wasn't he? What a gentleman he
Yes.
was. What an inspiration to us all.
Lovely.
Especially me. Especially me. Who else come on? Alan Carr. He was absolutely fantastic. What should we do next week? We've done well. I liked all that talking about things Nan said. Good, wasn't it?
Yes, brilliant.
Good item.
Is this a production meeting?
Yeah, let's
On
do
air?
it. Suppose so, a little bit, yeah, a little bit. Right, there'll be some news on in a moment. David Icke would, of course, say it's filthy propaganda and lies, but some of it may be true. We had Icke on here the other week.
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
He's lovely. We quite like him. I like him a lot, but then he always goes a little bit too far, doesn't
Well,
he?
do you know, I found a lot of what he said made sense, but then I said, look, I can't believe the lizards.
No.
And he said, then he said, but this is what a fantastic answer. He goes, I know. I'd have had an easier time if I hadn't actually brought the lizards up. And so, you know, I mean, I felt I had to say it, you know, and risk the all the trouble. I thought, yeah, and I found myself,
Lovely
you know,
honest
going
guy.
along. You know?
So
Yeah.
he did do
And
it.
he actually is a
even though
lovely
he
guy,
hated
yeah.
He's
very
a
nice.
truthful man. He's doing what he believes in. Let's
is,
honour David Icke. Yeah, I know. I should never mention them lizards. Thanks, all of you, for listening. Thanks for making this probably the best radio show there's ever been in history. Certainly the best franchise. Stay with us. Listen to us next week. Always download the podcast. Bear the revolution in mind. I actually love you from the bottom of my gorgeous black Nazi heart. Hare Krishna. Boy, I love you, boy, boy.